You're welcome back to the channel. I went ahead to use the pattern paper to cut out the fabric. So from the video you can see I added ½ inch to that's the center, that's the back pattern. The one I'm holding is the back pattern. I added ½ inch to the center back. It's opened. So we'll join it with the ½ inch, then look at the dots. So you find a way to trace out the same dots, the location of the dots on the fabric and lining, and also sew it. And this one here, that is the front. Okay, that's the center front. You can see, and that's the lining. So I'll be using the same African print to line the center front, or I will use it as facing also. And also I deducted 1 inch from all the linings. You can see that one too is 1 inch, is the way I folded it. Okay, so I deducted 1 inch from all the lining so that when I turn the fabric with the lining won't be showing outside. And that's the side for the center for the front. So these two will be coming together like this. I've removed the dart. These two will be coming together. I will use the ½ inch joining allowance to sew it, and this is the back, the whole of the back. I will only stitch the dart. Okay, and that is the collar. That's the river collar that I'll be using. So I cut 2 pieces, one as the main collar and the other one will stand as the lining. So this is it. I've joined the fabric together, and in this process we'll be joining fabric to fabric, then lining to lining. So this is the front, one side of the front and the other side of the front. You can see. So I joined the shoulder dart down to the length. Okay, so that's the fabric, and now I went ahead to join the lining to each other. So this is lining to the facing, and I have to use Ankara because of the lapel. I use Ankara as the lining because of the lapel, so that after sewing the whole thing, is the same Ankara that will show when I flip over the lapel on the chest. Okay, so now go ahead. So that's how it will look. Okay, here you can see what I said about the lining. You can see it's shorter than the main fabric. We'll pick the next one also. That's the second lining for the front. Then for the back, this is it. Since I removed 1 inch for shape, like some inches for the shape at the center back, so that's why my center back has to be open. You can see I've joined it together, and the same thing with the lining. Please don't mind my rumpled lining. Okay, and that's the collar. So the main piece of the collar, I line it with an interfacing. You can see, and that's the part that's coming into the neckline. You can see that curved part, and I find the midpoint of it and notch. It's important so that you notch in order to know the parts or not to mistake them together. So I notch the midpoint. I'll put the two together and stitch the other part. So now, still on my fabric to fabric, I've joined the front to the back at the side seam and also at the shoulder. You can see our dress is forming gradually. So the armhole is created fabric to fabric alone. So the way I joined this together, I went ahead and joined the lining together also at the shoulder and also at the side seam. So this is what it will look like. So for this center front, if you don't want to use your main fabric, you can use another plain fabric, but not just ordinary lining. Okay, and this is the collar. Can you see the part I stitch? The part I join together is the part that is not going to fit into the dress. Is the outer part of the collar. Okay, and the open part is the place we're going to attach to the neckline. Just look at the way I stitch it carefully, then give it a good press. So now I'll be going ahead to attach the collar into the neckline. Okay, so you spread out the neckline properly, then you pick your collar. So the way the collar is, you find the midpoint and notch it, and that's the same thing I did. Then you start from your center back. You start from center back, you place it right side to right side. Right side of the collar to the right side of your fabric. Then you pin it all along till you've exhausted the collar. That means that's where it's going to stop. Please just follow me carefully, it's not difficult. So now I only pick the fabric. I'm not working with the lining yet. So pick the fabric and pin it right side to right side with the collar, starting from the center back. Then you pin it all through. I'm so sorry, I don't know this place is off the camera, but just make sure you pin it to you stop where you pin it till you reach where you stitch on the collar. Then since you'll be joining this with 1/2 inch, so I'd advise you don't pin directly on the 1/2 inch. Okay, so I pinned this one about 1 inch below the neckline. So adjust that end properly also, and make sure you pin it down neatly. So this is it. I've pinned this down. Then I pick the lining now and bring the lining on top. Also, you are going to fix the lining right side of the lining to the right side of the collar or right side of the fabric. And remember not to pin it too close, so that it will be easy to sew for you. Or even if you pin it too close, no problem. As you are sewing, you'll be removing your pin. So I will run through the lining the same way I did with the fabric and the collar alone. So now it's obvious that the collar will be in between the main fabric and the lining. The collar is going to be between the main fabric and the lining. So the two should end at the same place. The two should end at the same place, obviously. And just make sure you do your thing and that it aligns properly. Then you go ahead and stitch on 1/2 inch or whatever your joining allowance is. It shouldn't be more than 1/2 inch. Go and stitch on 1/2 inch. So I've done that. Join the neckline with 1/2 inch. So this is how it is. Everything is still on the wrong side now. Then I just went ahead to notch. This might not be important because it's not really, it depends, yeah, but I went ahead and notch. Then you turn it over to the right side. Yep, this is it. You can see the collar is neatly fixed. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is how it should be if everything is done properly. Then you go ahead and give it a good press. As you can see, So you fold it over, that's how it will be. So now we need to continue sewing. So I flip it over to the wrong side again, but this time around I'm going to join the hemming together. After joining, fixing the collar, I went ahead and joined the hemming. So I'm going to stitch the two together, lining and the fabric by 1/2 inch. Then after then, I will now join the center front, lining to the fabric also. Okay, so I've done that. I've stitched the hemming together. It's still going to be, you sew it on the inside, right side to right side. So this is what it looks like from inside. And I also went ahead to stitch the center front also. So stitching the center front, you start from the up down, because there will be some excess. You now fold the excess while sewing the hemming. When you reach down, then you have to bring everything out through the armhole. That's what I'm doing now, because every other place is closed. So you bring it to the right side through the armhole. So bring it out and make sure you pull out any place that is still inside. So arrange everything properly. Make sure everything is in place so that the shape can come out very well. So now I'm arranging the collar and the lapel. See, this is how it's going to look. Okay, so that is it. You give it a good press. So I went ahead to cut the sleeve. Okay, so I'll be using a 3/4 sleeve. That's a 3/4 length. So I measure my calf sleeve and also the sleeve length. So I think I use a length of 16 plus 2 inches hemming allowance, which is 18 inches altogether. Okay, so I hope you know how to calculate our calf's height. Then I fix in my armhole. So I use about, I think, 9.5 for the armhole, 1 inch. Then I create the cuff. I need to measure this armhole cuff to be sure it's going to fit into the dress. Okay, so you measure this one carefully and make sure it's the same thing you have on your ready-made dress on the armhole. Then I fix in my sleeve round. So I have a video on basic sleeve. So for more understanding, you can please go ahead and watch the video. It will guide you on how to draft your sleeve properly. And I cut it out. So the next thing now, I'll cut another piece of this sleeve, then with lining and join it to the dress. So I hope this video is helpful. Okay, so the jacket actually came out well. So please feel free to share your opinion in the comment section. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. Then please remember to hit on the like button, because this will help the video to go out to more people. Okay, so please, I already released the drafting tutorial, please, and it's also on the channel. You can check it out so that you know how to draft it properly. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.